Hello and welcome back to Man vs Film. Happy New Year and welcome to my Netflix top 10 for the month of January 2018. So let's get started with number 10. Midnight Run. Jack Walsh is a tough bounty hunter who has to deliver Jonathan the Duke Mardukas, who embezzled 15 million from the mob. But the FBI is after the Duke to testify, the mob is after him for revenge, and Walsh is after him just to get him to shut up. Midnight Run came out in '88. It stars Robert De Niro, Charles Grodin, and is one of the best buddy movies I think I've ever seen. It's these two guys trying to outwit each other. You've got the brawn of De Niro, you've got the smarts of Grodin, and they really just come together and bond with hatred. It's funny, it's got some good action set pieces. It's probably one of these movies that you've never heard of, but it's absolutely fantastic, and it just popped onto Netflix and I couldn't resist in hitting that play button. Number 9, Gods of Egypt. Mortal hero Beck teams up with the god Horus in an alliance against Set, the merciless god of darkness, who has usurped Egypt's throne, plunging the once peaceful and prosperous empire into chaos and conflict. Gods of Egypt was much maligned when it came out. It was really put upon. It was in lots of worst of the year lists, and grudgingly I kind of stuck it on just out of curiosity to see how bad it was, and discovered something that I genuinely enjoyed. It looks pretty good. There's some good CGI. There's some really bad CGI, but it all kind of adds to this aesthetic of warring gods battling alongside humanity. I think it's one of these really fun movies. It's not very boring. It's got some good action. It's got some funny one-liners. It's got some bad performances as well as good performances, but everything comes together to make an enjoyable watch of a movie. I think it's worth your time. Number 8, Patriots Day. The events of the Boston Marathon bombing of 2013, mostly seen through the eyes of Boston Police Department Sergeant Tommy Saunders, plus other people involved, including the perpetrators. Patriots Day sees Mark Wahlberg as Detective Tommy, the man that kind of ties all the departments together in the hunt for the people who planted the bomb for the marathon in Boston. It's a kind of loose adaptation of the true life tale with some things kind of merged together, some characters kind of merged together to create a cohesive storyline. But it's intense, and it keeps you guessing to the edge of your seat about what's going to happen. Even though it was a news story that you kind of saw play out on the news, it's exciting stuff. It's tense, it's driven with some good performances, and for some reason Mark Wahlberg, I just seem to like the guy, and here again he adds a lot of pathos to the character and makes it a really enjoyable watch. Number 7, GOON 2. The Last of the Enforcers. A hockey player plagued by injuries is confronted with the possibility of retirement when a tough new player challenges his status as the league's top enforcer. Sean William Scott returns as Doug Platt in the sequel to GOON, a movie that I wasn't overly fond of, but the sequel raises the bar on everything. There's more violence, there's more profanity, there's more fun, there's more energy to the movie completely, and I think it's a far better movie. It's one that I really enjoyed. I went back to it again fairly recently and found that it's one of these just a fun, enjoyable flick. If you like the first one, you're going to love this one. If you weren't keen on the first one, there's still a chance that you may like this. Number 6, Voyeur. Journalism icon Gay Talese reports on Gerald Foos, the Colorado motel owner who allegedly secretly watched his guests with the aid of a specially designed ceiling vents, peering down from an observation platform he built in the motel's attic. Voyeur is one of those documentaries that just grabs you with its premise right from the start. You can't believe some of the things you are actually hearing here. It is shocking, but it's compelling, and to see the man tell his tale but seem perfectly ordinary is just unsettling more than anything. I thought Voyeur was a fantastic documentary that kept me riveted all the way through it. Number 5, Creep 2. A video artist looking for work drives to a remote house in the forest to meet a man claiming to be a serial killer. But after agreeing to spend the day with him, she soon realises that she's made a deadly mistake. I liked Creep, the first one. It seemed like an exercise in minimalism and just going into the woods with a camera and seeing what came out of it. This one has a little bit more plotting, a little bit more below the surface, and for that you get a better, more enjoyable story. We get the sort of tale of the serial killer as he unfolds even more as a character. I really enjoyed this movie more than I did the first one, and I'm really excited if they're going to do a third one, because I want to see what happens with these characters. I want to see how it evolves even more. It's deeply unsettling, very strange, very jump-centric, and it's a weird but unique kind of movie. Number 4, Mad Max Fury Road. Set in the post-apocalyptic future, an evil ruler, Immortan Joe, keeps his subjects under tight rule. Then one of his most trusting lieutenants sets out to escape his regime, taking all his wives with him. Along the way, she meets a character named Max. Mad Max Fury Road was my favourite movie of 2015, and even now, when I think about it, it puts a smile on my face. It is the best action movie ever, without a doubt. It's propulsive, it just starts and goes. The first time I watched this, I forgot to blink for a while, and when I finally did, my eyes were so sore. It is glorious looking, it is exciting, tense, filled with action, great characters, just lots of unique images and crazy stunts. If you haven't checked it out yet for some reason, you need to get on it now. Number 3 is Bright. Set in a world where mystical creatures live side by side with humans, a human cop is forced to work with an orc to find a weapon everyone is prepared to kill for. Starring Will Smith and Joel Edgerton, this movie is directed by David Ayer. It's about a cop working with an orc. Magic is real. There is elves, there is fairies, there's magic wands that are weapons of mass destruction. It's a crazy premise, but it works really well and creates this exciting landscape. They've really done a great job of world building here, and I would love to see more tales set in this world. The action's good, the banter is really top notch. I love Will Smith, the way he plays off with Joel Edgerton. I think it's terrific work, and it's one of the biggest budgeted movies that Netflix has backed. In fact, they were so confident they already greenlit a sequel before the first one came out, and I can't wait to see that. Number 2, Triangle. A group of friends suffer a yachting accident and take refuge on a cruiser drifting on the open sea, but quickly realise they were better off on the upturned yacht. Hard to really discuss this movie without spoiling it for you, and I think it needs to be seen without knowing too much about it. It starts off as a kind of drama-ish movie where you're never quite sure where it's going to go. By the time they get to the boat and all the weirdness really starts to happen, you are hooked into these characters, and to see what happens play out, it's fantastic. It keeps revealing all these things to you that repurpose events earlier in the movie that just make it so much fun. I think it's well worth your time. You've got to check it out. I was blown away by this movie. Number 1 is The Autopsy of Jane Doe. While investigating the murder of a family, Sheriff Sheldon and his team are puzzled with the discovery of a body of a stranger buried in the basement. Coroner Tommy Tilden and his assistant son, Austin Tilden, begin the autopsy. Along with the stormy and tragic night, they disclose weird and creepy secrets about Jane Doe. What a terrifically atmospheric horror movie. You have Emil Hirsch and Brian Cox as the father and son coroner team, who work tremendously well together, because pretty much most of this movie is these two guys, this body, and a whole host of weird goings on that happen. I think The Autopsy of Jane Doe was criminally underseen, and I think if you like horror at all, it's very atmospheric. It's going to get you to have those hairs in the back of your neck stand up. It's going to make your skin crawl. It's going to get under your skin. It's going to terrify you, and I think it is terrific at doing what it wants to do, and it achieves it. I think it's a great movie. So there's what we have for January 2018. If there's anything I've missed, let me know in the comment box below. Let me know what you thought of any of the movies, if you found one that you loved. And if you haven't already done so, subscribe and like this video. And I will see you next month on Man vs Film.